How you doing? My name is Jerry LeComp. I'm the Community Policing Sergeant with UNC Charlotte Police Department. So we're here to tell you a little bit about our department, some of the members you see here. Again, UNC Charlotte Police Department, protecting and serving the Niner Nation. So some of the basics on our department. All right, basic information: 56 sworn law enforcement officers, BLET certified. We've all been through the academy. Some of our officers have been from other agencies, transferred out of state, have 15, 20 or more years of service in other agencies. We are on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It is a full-time agency. We respond full-time to calls for service. Minimum is typically going to be a sergeant and 3 to 4 officers, anywhere up to and including 2 sergeants, a lieutenant, and anywhere between 5 and 7 officers. We have jurisdiction both on and off campus. So our primary jurisdiction is obviously the Niner Nation, UNC Charlotte, and its boundaries. The extended jurisdiction goes from Old Concord Road to Tryon, if you're familiar with the area, and also from Pavilion Road, somewhere just up from the amphitheater, to just shy of East W.T. Harris. Emergency and non-emergency call response. So what that means is basically anything we could get from a serious life threat to jump starts, room lockouts, building access, things of that sort. So our mutual aid agreement. So what this is this puts in place the standards that give us our off-campus jurisdiction. In an agreement with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police, City of Charlotte, all right, it does give us expanded jurisdiction. So the apartment complexes, where many of your sons or daughters may be staying, the streets, the highways, the roadways, the private areas, it gives us access to all of that as part of this mutual aid agreement. So I know this is a question on many parents' mind: alcohol and drugs. All right, let me clear that up right off. We have a zero tolerance policy between the police department, dean of students, university in general. It is zero tolerance. What that means, when you look at enforcement options, okay, citation all the way up to an arrest, any interaction we have from a consistency standpoint is going to automatically be issued a state citation. With that will also be a dean of students conduct referral. What that means is that your son or daughter is going to have a meeting with dean of students to discuss their conduct, what happened, what are best ways that dean of students office or other resources can give them a hand with whatever they may be dealing with that may have led up to this. There is one exception. That's our help-seeking protocol. As you can see here, there's 3 requirements, both for the state of North Carolina help-seeking protocol and also UNC Charlotte's Dean of Students protocol. First one is seeking help on behalf of yourself or another. So that could be, if you're on campus, seeking help from an RA, having them contact police and public safety. We respond out, calling 911, which would have Charlotte-Mecklenburg Fire or medic responding to take care of their health situation as a result of either drug or alcohol overdose. Second, provide your real name. What that means: the name you would have on your student ID, the name you would have on your driver's license. And third, make a good choice, be a good Niner, stay on scene with that person, provide any level of help you can. You may not have any additional life skills training that you can help them, but stand by with them, assure them, it's going to be okay, we have help on the way. Those can go a long way. So 3 main divisions: uniform patrol. This is the backbone of our department. This is the officers that you're going to primarily come in contact with. We also have CID and COP. CID, many of you that may watch detective shows on TV, this is our detective bureau. We have community policing division, and we also have administrative services. So looking at some of our training and standards, these are some of the things that we do and that are required of our agency. So basic law enforcement training. Any officer that's hired by our agency already has basic law enforcement training, and as I mentioned earlier, many have additional training or additional years of service with other agencies. So looking at college degrees and or military, we have a lot of veterans in our department. We have a lot of officers and also administrative. anywhere from a Juris Doctorate all the way to full careers in military. So we do have a wide range of officers. The officers that don't have their degrees are currently working on them. Many of our officers take advantage of the 3 classes a year that the university offers through the state of North Carolina. Annual state mandated training. So what this means is that if an officer was hired in 2010, that they're not still receiving the same updated annual training that they received in 2010. That training changes with the times. It focuses on primary training that is important that officers need to know to make sure that they have updated training. Some of these blocks could be in legal, it could be dealing with juveniles, a lot of different training that can be provided, and it is provided, is required training annually. So looking at sexual assault response, designated sexual assault response protocol in place. So when an officer, any officer in our agency responds to a sexual assault, there are guidelines that they have to follow. All officers are trained on initial response as far as victim and survivor safety, making sure that they're provided any resources they need, making sure that evidence is not tampered with or destroyed. Work closely with Dean of Students, Title IX, Resource Guide, Counseling Center. The one thing with the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, and many other universities across the country is if that person, if that survivor comes to us and says, we want to file a report, and then says, you know what, maybe I don't want to file a report, that's okay. We can take the information, we can document that information. They say, well, maybe I'd like to speak with Title IX. Title IX can run a parallel investigation. They can run it in conjunction with us. The ability to provide 24-hour resources, regardless of what time something were to happen, we would be there, we would provide professional resources for that person. And also call out protocol in place. If additional resources are needed, we have a detective bureau that will respond out, that will work with that victim survivor and speak with them and provide them additional resources, get them whatever they need. Uniform patrol. So like I mentioned before, this is the backbone of our agency. These are the officers you're going to probably see most often. Marked and unmarked patrol vehicles. You're going to see a lot of vehicles around campus. Sometimes it's easy to tell it's us, sometimes it's not. Typically, easy way to tell our vehicles from Charlotte is going to be the Niner Green logos and legends on the vehicle, as well as the patch. Multiple means of patrolling campus. So we have Greenway. We have a large part of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Greenway that runs through campus. So we have the Polarises and we have mules, not the furry kind, the motorized kind. Bike patrol and foot patrol. We have several officers that are very active with bike patrol. Can be seen patrolling different areas of campus. Great thing with that is it's very interactive. It's very accessible to different areas of campus. Students like seeing it, faculty and staff like seeing it. So Criminal Investigations Division, this is the division I talked about. Basically what you would see is a TV detective show. Criminal investigations, say one of our patrol officers or COP responds out to a larceny of a book bag or larceny of laptops. CID is probably going to follow up on that case, try and obtain video, try and see if there's any other cases in the area that may be similar, see if they can formulate suspects. Once a suspect, if we're able to do that, if we're able to determine a suspect, they will go out and get criminal warrants. They'll get on the magistrate's office, provide the information, get that warrant, make that arrest, close that case. And evidence collection and processing, making sure that that evidence is secure, stays secure through the court date. So some of our specialized training. When you see SWAT, the department does not have a full-time SWAT team. What the department does have is numerous officers that are cross-trained in SWAT training, SWAT tactics, SWAT response, and are part of our patrol division. So that when these officers respond, they have these training, these tactics, this knowledge to handle that incident appropriately. K9. So you will see the gentleman right here. This is K9 Barney. He is a 3-year-old Labrador Retriever. He is trained in numerous different detections. He's not a patrol dog at this time. However, ordnance, suspicious packages, tracking, things of those sorts. Our mobile incident command center, you'll see here, this can be mobilized and has been mobilized for numerous years for football and large scale other events. This is essentially a police department on wheels. We have dispatchers inside that can work that at a large scale event. What that does is that reduces the call volume for our primary call center in our police headquarters. Hostage negotiation, we have several officers that are actual hostage negotiators. So if you have a high stress or high tense situation where somebody may need to speak with somebody, these officers can have that training and can provide those resources. CIT, part of our crisis intervention team. Officers attend 32 to 40-hour classes in crisis intervention training, making sure that when we interact with somebody that may be having a stressful situation, that we can speak with that person, we can determine what their needs are, what their stressors are, and handle that situation appropriately. Community-oriented policing, high visibility, a lot of interaction with our faculty, staff, and students within the community. We do a lot of outreach, we do a lot of programming. We have a lot of programming months and initiatives that we do. We work with a lot of partners on campus. In the past, we worked with criminal justice programs, speaking with their students. We work with Housing and Res Life. We work with wellness promotions. We've partnered with athletics. Crime prevention, basically by seeing our officers out a lot, making sure that that crime prevention piece is there, making sure the opportunity to prevent itself for somebody to commit a crime doesn't exist. Again, focus on student, faculty, staff programming and education. As you can see here, myself up top, Sergeant Jerry Lecomte, Lecomte at uncc.edu. Also, Master Police Officer Janisha Immons, she's been with our agency for quite a while. Great resource, phenomenal person to speak with. So if you have the opportunity to reach out to either one of us to set up a program, if you, your sons or daughters have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our emails are here. So our administrative services, not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just to give you an idea of some of our command staff. Chief Jeff Baker, Deputy Chief Josh Huffman, Captain Sarah Smyer is over our Cleary and administration. Captain Lewis Bowman is our patrol captain, our patrol commander. Lieutenant Stephanie Klein does a great job with our CALIA and accreditation. Lieutenant Rich Gundacker and Lieutenant Markeith Tate are our day shift and our night shift watch commanders. And also Detective Lieutenant John Falk is over our CID and our investigations. So Operation ID, what this is real basic is this is property documentation. We document make, model, and serial number of your property. So a laptop, iPad, iPhone, watches, headphones, things of that sort. And what we do is we just maintain that documentation on that property. Should your son or daughter have their property stolen, they can come to our department. We would have them file a report for the stolen property. We have that information necessary that we can enter in a national database. We can also enter it in Mecklenburg County Pawn Tracker. What that is if somebody steals that item, turns your phone off, and goes to a pawn shop and tries to sell it, we can link in with all the pawn shops in Mecklenburg County in an attempt to try and get that property back. If you want to have your property registered or engraved, if we engrave it, we can put a unique name, initials, number on that property, something that your son or daughter would have unique to them. You can contact me directly and we can get that set up for you at the police department. So RAD is our women's self-defense course. Phenomenal program, been instructing this course for over 20 years. We have numerous instructors, male and female, that teach this course. Probably one of the best basic self-defense courses that's offered. The course is free of charge. It's anywhere between a 9-hour basic course and a 12-hour enhanced with the simulation that you would see here. Detective Nicole Kresiak is our lead instructor on that. She oversees the program and coordinates all the courses. With COVID, we've had some restrictions as far as in-person learning on that. There is no, obviously it's a self-defense course, so there really is no in-person there is no virtual learning with that. Anything that would be done in person. You can reach out to Detective Kresiak at her email here or her phone number and see when we're going to be setting up some next courses. So a lot of the programming that we do, alcohol, drug, and safety related, making sure that your son and daughters are making good, solid, informed choices you'd be proud of them making. ALICE training, our active shooter training. By now many of you are familiar with the incident we had in in 2019 on April 30th. Prior to that, we were fortunate enough to be able to provide a lot of training for faculty, staff, and students, whether it be just a basic ALICE course, basic active shooter, or up to and including our 2-hour course with ALICE that includes a simulation or multiple simulations. We have numerous instructors in the department that do teach ALICE, so this is a program that we do pride ourselves in and is made available. Traffic-related initiatives through Governor's Highway Safety Program, and also presentations tailored for Greek life, spring break, wellness promotions, wellness passport, and also part of leadership program, making sure that your son or daughters, when they look in the mirror, that they do see a leader. Our police headquarters, as you can see here, is located across from the Student Health Center. The doors are open on the police department Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Off hours does not mean we will not respond. 704-687-2200 or pushing a button on any of the blue light phones that we'll talk about in a few minutes will allow an officer to come out to your location. We can also meet individuals at the police department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you want to pick up reports, things of that sort, our admin, Cheryl Thomason, is here, 704-687-8300. So some of the non-traditional services we still provide. A lot of agencies may not do these. We kind of look at it as a more personal aspect. So things like vehicle jump starts. Gentleman you see here is Reggie. He's one of 2 Rangers. Antoinette Rohde is our daytime Ranger. Reggie is our evening Ranger. So things they help us out with to make sure that officers stay on patrol, make sure that we're available for calls for service. Vehicle jump starts, vehicle lockouts. We can help with out of gas assistance, and also providing safety escorts. Late at night, students tend to request an escort from maybe one side of campus to the other, or from one side of campus to a central part of campus, and vice versa. So this is a question that many parents ask: how safe is UNC Charlotte? Okay, well, let's talk about that for a minute. By and large, UNC Charlotte is a safe campus. The #1 crime that we have on this campus, stolen property. So these are conversations you may have already had with your son or daughter about making sure that they keep track and they have their property with them, they don't leave it unattended. These are the same conversations we'll have with them. Occasionally things do happen. Laptops are left unattended, backpacks are left unattended, things are left in vehicles. This is when that opportunity for crime occurs. We try and encourage your sons or daughters to take that opportunity away from that scenario, secure those belongings, make sure they keep their laptops safe and secure, not just from a property standpoint, but if it gets to the end of the semester and that all that work that was compiled in that laptop is now missing with said laptop. So blue light phones, real basic. This is kind of an old school technology, however, very, very effective, very simple. Push of a button, goes directly to our dispatch center, 2nd floor of our police department. It's almost like a push of a button going to 911. Each one of them has a numeric identifier. It lets our dispatchers and it lets our officers know exactly where you should be. So if you have a medical emergency, you're able to push the button, but you can't communicate, our officers are going to already be on the way. And additional security measures that have been put in place. Smart classrooms, basically a push of a button on the podium, goes directly to classroom support. They can link to dispatch. We can monitor the conversation that's actually happening in that room. Looking at different things that have been put in place, that were in place prior to April 30th. 1 button lockdown. So what that means is in police dispatch, push 1 button, locks every exterior card swipe door on all the buildings. Each building will have to be individually released, but this provides a quick lockdown in case of an emergency situation and did work effectively on April 30th. Looking at different ways to notify students, plasma TV, video surveillance, text messaging has been very popular, makes it that much more accessible as it goes through your phone. Campus safety advisories are sent out, 9 alerts. You'll see weather alerts going out. You'll see calls for service alerts from time to time going out. So please sign up for those alerts. You'll see information on the emergency management webpage in a few minutes, but please take advantage of those websites and sign up for those text alerts. So these are websites I was mentioning before. Police.uncc.edu is ours. emergency management, emergency.uncc.edu. Within the last year, we've come up with brand new safety videos. Please take time and check those out. Take a look at both of the websites to see what we're doing and what we have in place to keep your son and daughter safe. LiveSafe, this is probably one of the best safety apps on the market. Very easy to use, free. What it does is it gives you an opportunity to use several different aspects just from your cell phone from an app. So anonymous tip reporting, one-touch dialing to police, could be 911 or on or off campus. UNC Charlotte resources, a host of resources that are provided to connect your son or daughter with other partners on campus. And also GoSafe. This is an opportunity to have your son or daughter invite somebody from their contact list, could be yourself or a friend on campus, to watch them walk safely across campus. It'll be a pin dot on a map. Once they arrive, you'll get the notification that they arrived safely. So weapons on campus, this is something we really need to address. Firearms are not allowed on campus, with one exception. The only exception. If you have a North Carolina concealed handgun permit, you are allowed to have a handgun, very similar to what I have on my waist. A handgun. The stipulation, it has to be in a closed compartment in a locked vehicle. So a glove box, a console, trunk, needs to be in a locked vehicle. If the vehicle is unlocked or the weapon is in plain sight, that is a violation of law. That's a felony charge. Edged weapons. Knives are not allowed on campus. Pocket knives, any length, doesn't make a difference, not allowed on campus. This rule has recently been changed over the last couple of years, so please be mindful of that. When you look at some other aerosol defense, pepper spray, absolutely okay. Keychain size. One thing we do caution, the family size that you might get at Sam's, that's not allowed. Small personal use keychain defense, that's fine. Pepper spray. Mace, not allowed, different chemical compound. Keychain defense, when you look at like Kubotans, things like that, not necessarily an issue. One thing that we do have parents ask us, well, how about a stun gun or taser? Neither one are allowed on campus. Both would be a misdemeanor violation by law. So just to wrap up, you may have some questions. We're going to give you some time to be able to submit that to us. You have Mesh Police Officer Inman's information. You have my information from the emails earlier. Feel free to submit any questions you have to us. We look forward to having your son and daughter back on campus this year for the semester. If not, what we would do is we'd like to interact with them as much as possible virtually. And again, we are here to protect and serve. Go Niners.